Hey, hello everybody. It's Joe Vosper here from 10 Billion States. Found something interesting online I just want to share with you quickly, and then I want to say something else. So this is from a site called, it's revealed.com, C19 viewing. Now, I don't know much about this site, I've only just come across it, but there was a time limit on the thing. Somewhere down there, if I can just get it up, I'll show you. Okay, I'll scroll down a minute. Right, okay, this is an advert. There you go. Yeah, expires in 14 hours. So I don't know if you'll be able to find this, but I'm just going to play you a quick clip and then say something about it. So let me just turn the volume up.
People always ask me, how did Schwab get to have a big influence? It wasn't Schwab, it was his buddy Kissinger. And Kissinger then became a lobbyist from 77 on. And, people still to this day don't realize Kissinger is the only person from Nixon's cabinet who's still alive. Even today, as we speak, he's had a massive impact on progressive leftist policies in the country. And it's grown. I mean, I've seen this. I'm fortunate enough to be old enough to know these links. And what I've seen is that the goal of both Kissinger and Schwab, where it was a one world government where you would own nothing and be happy about it. And if you understand how to pull this off politically, the best way to do it is going back to that story that I told you about Jefferson and Benjamin Rush. It's really hard to do it if you don't have a medical tragedy. And if you go back and read Klaus Schwab's books, like where he began to get important was when Kissinger stepped away to be a lobbyist, that's when Davos became a big deal. And Davos is always covered by CNBC and Fox Business News. It's not covered, in the Wall Street, I should say the New England Journal of Medicine or, many journals there. Most doctors don't even know that these guys are tied to it. And I like to bring out to people that the World Economic Forum began in 1986, where they basically took over Harvard University, especially a guy named Walter Willett, to try to push a plant-based diet, to get us to stop eating animals. They even did something by poisoning all the peer-reviewed journals, something called Eat Lancet, which has pushed this narrative literally for 20 years. On the political side, they're the group behind the ESG narrative. The ESG narrative is where you get the climate change thing. The whole goal of these global elites is socialism. That's where it comes down. And socialism is an authoritarian reality. Well, that's exactly what we have now with COVID. You're going to take the jab, and you're going to like it, and that's the way it's going to be. And we're going to pass through as much science. We're going to use our scientists because Bill Gates found out that you can be successful with Microsoft buying off politicians, but you can be really successful when you buy off scientists. And how did he learn that message? He learned that message because most people don't know that Bill Gates' dad was a lobbyist in Washington, D.C. for over 30 years. And guess what? He famously told his son in the 80s, he said, the best gig you can ever get is to get involved with vaccines because Reagan's going to pass this law where there's no liability. He goes, you always have liability on the software side when you're selling computers. How would you like to get into something that's got huge margins and no legal liability? And guess what? Magically, he quit, started Gavi, and what did he start to do? He started to get guys like Fauci. He started to get the Melinda Gates Foundation. If you look, he then used his cachet as a CEO to begin to get all these different CEOs around to say, hey, look, this is the world we're going to build. You're the top 1%. We're going to meet in Davos. They got so bold that about 10 years ago, Klaus Schwab just started printing books and telling everybody, this is what we're going to do. And guess what?
Okay, so a lot of you know this already. I'm just telling you things that you've already seen. But it is an excellent video. I'll bring this back up so you can see it. if you want to watch the whole thing. Yeah, if you want to see the whole thing, check it out here. It's a couple hours long, very informative, very well done, and yeah, we need people. We need people delivering that message, especially for people who haven't come across this and don't know about Kissinger, Schwab, and Gates, and how it all relates. Now, what I want to say about this is, I am a socialist. I am one of these crazy leftists. I mean, I'm left of Schwab. I'll admit it. And I would have pulled the trigger on quite a lot of the World Economic Forum ideas, but I would not have got involved in COVID, and I would not have got involved in this vaccine garbage. But you see, 10 billion states is not left. 10 billion states is universal. And what's happened is we've been suffering this polarization for a very long time. And the left and right argument is redundant. I mean, there are very few people, unless they're directly involved in Davos, who are global socialists. Let's face it. And there are very few true laissez-faire, open license capitalists left. We've seen the banking disaster. We've seen what's happened to the world through capitalism. And we know it's not sustainable globally. Everybody knows this. I'm pretty sure everybody knows this. Now, the point is, if you believe in capitalism, you believe in the open market, there's no problem with that. If you're socialist, then there's no problem with that. What we really need to all do is become pluralists. Now, pluralists say, I'm going to be over here running a business. I'm going to be a capitalist. But if you're not involved in that, I'm not going to exploit you. I'm not going to make you either a consumer or a wage slave. And if you're over here being socialist, well, you've got to be able to say, I'm here with socialists doing our thing. And we're going to be self-sufficient with it. And we're not going to take your money. We're not going to impose taxes on you. We're going to be a separate world. Now, I'm not talking about 2 worlds. I'm talking about 10 billion worlds. Because there's shades of agreement and disagreement with everybody, between everybody. And that's basically where you go with self-legislation. We've got the data now, we've got the capacity, we've got the artificial intelligence and the processing to be able to have a single government for every single person. That's where I'm coming from, and that's what I'm pitching here. So that was just an update. Hope you followed up on that video if you liked it. Please get in touch. All right. Thanks very much. Speak to you again soon.